So we're here with Tony Stewart.
This is terrible.
We're not here to
beat on my own lanes here.
We're actually here. What are we here for, Tony?
Well, we seem to have a growing problem in my basement here.
Yeah.
It's something like a bad episode of Gremlins where something got wet and they started multiplying in the basement.
Yeah, they've been in a lot of battles. These helmets over here. Tony's invited me down to see his personal helmet collection, and really, it normally looks a lot nicer than this, right, Tony?
Well, we're in the middle of cleaning right now, so we're cleaning and cataloging and just kind of reevaluating where everything goes. So
yeah,
we've recently acquired about 45 to 50 new helmets to my collection. So and we annually try to do a cleaning, so it's a big cleaning and trying to reorganize and restructure the cases. So a lot of work to do.
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do, and you've invited me down to kind of look over some of the helmets, tell you some of the history of them and stuff too. And what's cool is obviously you've got a lot of different disciplines of racing that you competed in, but that's kind of carried over to your helmet collection too, which is pretty unique. A lot of people just collect NASCAR helmets or Formula One, and in your case you've got kind of a mixture of all motorsports, right?
Yeah, everything from NASCAR, INDYCAR, wing sprint cars, USAC non-wing cars and midgets, drag racing, Formula One, late models, big block modifieds, and a couple motorcycle racers. And in there, we've got a couple guys that play with leather balls, and some guys play with hard frozen pucks at the same time. So we got a little bit of everything.
You mentioned the pucks. Actually, this one I recognize Ed Belfour. Tell us how you came about to acquire something like this.
So Ted Johnson, that used to own the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, was the second season ticket holder for the Dallas Stars. So anytime we were traveling and going through the area, if there was a game, we would go with Ted to the games. And at that time when I met Ed, he was number 20 and I was number 20 with Joe Gibbs Racing as well. So met him after one of the games and asked if he wanted to trade helmets sometime. So this is a game worn goalie's helmet that he traded with me. So
he's probably
pretty proud of it.
Bit of a racing fan himself.
Yeah, he's definitely a car guy. So it was pretty cool to meet him. I mean, just that in itself was cool, but to have this to kind of remind me of that first time that we met is pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty cool item.
I'm seeing a lot of helmets here. Obviously, like this has a lot of connections to Joe Gibbs Racing, and you've got other ones here as well, like such as Jerry Rice and some other football legends. Pretty cool. Obviously, once you start collecting helmets, it kind of grows out of
helmets
control.
Are helmets. So I mean, I even have, and it's upstairs in my office, but I have my my niece's first riding helmet. She shows horses, so I got her first helmet. Got my nephew's motocross helmet. So it's kind of cool. I mean, we have a little bit of everything, but the great thing is a lot of the helmets that are down here are helmets that I've traded with other drivers, and then I've bought some collections that have became available. But the fun part is actually trading helmets and learning the stories that come with them. Everything from Bubba Clem, Bubba the Love Sponge's son Tyler Clem. I have his last quarter midget helmet,
right,
and all the way up to Michael Schumacher. So you can imagine everything in between, whether it's sprint car drivers or midget drivers, dirt late model guys. There's a lot of guys that I've had a lot of respect for and traded a lot of helmets with over the years.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some of these personal messages on the helmets, and some of those too. When you read them, they probably mean a lot to you. Some of these guys, obviously, you had some great battles out there with, and some of them you probably, a lot of times you didn't get along with, and then so when you finally get to kind of trade helmets and they write a nice message on there, probably really means something a lot to you.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys, I mean, we raced with them every week, and you're not always going to agree, but for the most part, we all get along, and we're a giant family. And like I say, when you get to the end of your career and you see what some of these guys rode, and it's not even a lot of them are from the younger drivers. When I was finishing my career, but we got a helmet back here from Ricky Rudd. We've got one from Carl Edwards that was the helmet that he had on the night that we won the 2011 NASCAR championship at Homestead. he traded me the helmet that he actually wore that night when he ran second to us. So it just shows the respect that we all have for each other. And you know, even a lot of the sprint car and midget guys now, when I you know, I tell them I've got a collection I'd really like to add them to it, it's kind of weird because they kind of feel like they don't belong and,
That's right.
Don't deserve to be in it, but they're really honored that I ask them, and it's a big honor to me that they would want to be a part of it. So you know, doesn't matter what discipline or racing they're from. All the guys that are in here mean something to me, and there's a reason that they're in the collection. It's
cool seeing the different helmet manufacturers as well. Obviously, there's some really nice Simpson helmets which stand out. You've got the different manufacturers and the intricacies that you see that you don't see on off the shelf helmets like these Arise, and you see them in person. A lot of time you don't even notice them in on TV or anything like that. You know, you got Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson here, and Casey Kane. I mean,
and a lot of where the airports go in and out of them, it's you know, each driver was different on where they wanted the airports put
personal
in.
preference.
So, and a lot of times the cool boxes were on the right hand side, so guys tried to make the lines as short as they could, so you'd see them off. These guys had them offset to the right to have to be able to use a shorter cord to save weight and just little things. But it's you know, there's a lot of really cool lids in this deal.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them sort of going back into the cabinet. You got a little bit of an order probably planned down here. They seem to, I recognize a lot of these of your own helmets. A lot of them from, you know, sort of early INDYCAR days, even to more recent times when the Home Depot car, and a lot of them are kind of almost a similar style but different colors too, you know, with the flames going across. What's your sort of thought pattern behind that?
Jason Beam was the first painter that I met, and man, do I have a lot of respect for him because he's got so much talent, and I've seen him do so many different styles, and that's something that has always impressed me about Jason. I mean, and Jason was the one that really came up with his first design that really stuck with us for a long time, even when we got in NASCAR. But you know, he kind of got this tribal thing going, and you know, that was really Jason's deal. I mean, I never told Jason what I wanted. I mean, he just always had the creative eye to pick what he wanted and what he liked and what he thought really fit our style and our personality. And that's something that when he does somebody's helmets, he's good about learning the person and learning about their style and you know, kind of matching their design of their helmet to their personality and driving style.
I've seen a few of these INDYCAR helmets. I have one myself, and I noticed they were always slightly different as well on top, which is kind of cool because then you can tell which races they were worn in. And I know this one was probably Indianapolis based on the tech sticker, and I think it's 96. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Because this Velociraptor feature was actually banned, so there's not too many drivers who even had that. This is a really rare helmet in itself, just in the design.
Yeah, 96 I think is the only year that we actually ran those helmets. So you know, it was to help keep the helmet down on our head and keep kind of the aerodynamics of it. So the back part of it kind of created a lot of downforce, and then they had to run the wickers on the front to balance it out. But they definitely worked. But you know, it really wasn't anything that hurt the structure of the helmet because it was an add-on piece that was over top of the shell. So it really wasn't a safety concern for us. I think what they were worried about was this part getting hung up in the actual headrest of the car. So I think that's why they ultimately went away from it.
They've almost gone back to this now in these days with it kind of sneaking them on like clear plastic, right?
Yeah, and it's, you know, they're still fighting the same issues we did back then. I mean, it's you know, anytime you got that much air rushing over top of it, you need something to hold it down.
It's funny because there's so many hidden treasures around here. You know, I've walked past this a couple of times already, and now I just noticed exactly what it is. Obviously, it's your Brickyard 400 helmet from 2010 when you had a sort of a special design to represent a lot of the legends at the Speedway. You know, you see Ray Haroon here and Bill Vukovic on the top. You got the Borg Warner Trophy. Of course, your hero AJ Foyt. That's why he drove number 14. And
yeah, they got his portrait on there in a lot of places. So
wow, that's fantastic.
And that's, like I said, that was something that was really cool about Jason, is he knew how much and how special Indy was to me, and so when it came time each year for Brickyard, he always did me a special helmet just for the Brickyard 400. So you know, each of them were different, and you know, it's I don't know that I'll ever get rid of my Brickyard helmets just for
No.
that fact. They were all so cool that
Yeah.
and it was always the fun part was you didn't know, and he wouldn't let me see it till actually the week of the race, and then when I got to the track and I got in there for the first practice, that's when I actually had the opportunity to see my helmet for the first time that race.
Yeah, I really like that. It's really well done. Over here, you've got some other NASCAR helmets. Ryan Newman here as well. You've got a lot of your more special helmets lined up that have come out of these cabinets, and I noticed a lot of different NASCAR champions here. What's your kind of method to this madness?
Yeah, so the first row of the cabinet actually was for NASCAR champion, Cup Series champions. So literally from this point all the way down are all NASCAR champions. So there's Dale Earnhardt Sr., Richard Petty, Jimmy Johnson, and probably my favorite helmet of all of them, if I had to just pick one helmet, is the helmet that Jimmy had on for his 7th championship.
Wow.
And literally gave it to me at the race, and it still has these earbuds in it and everything.
That's this one. That's incredible. I mean, what a gesture.
Yeah, and I always tell him it's just on loan and it's his whenever he wants it back, but he insists that I keep it. So
wow.
But I remember bringing it back to the motorhome, and until I got home, that thing never left my sight. So it was really cool to me.
What a special helmet design. Obviously, you got Dale Sr. and Richard Petty chasing 7, and he wasn't really chasing 7 after that race. He was there.
He was there with him. So
yeah, he's a really, really great guy, and I noticed it's not signed either. Probably because that's how it came off his head when he won.
Exactly.
And,
but I mean, anybody that had won a championship, there's no way in their right mind that they're going to give their championship-winning helmet away. And here Jimmy ties the 2 greatest of all time in the sport, and it was my last race, and I got done with my interviews and went up to congratulate him, and literally he said, "Hold on a second." He knelt down and said something to one of the people that was helping him, and that person went over to the car and got that out of there and handed it to him, and he looked me square in the eye and handed it to me. So
what a
just
moment.
a really neat moment between friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I noticed even like this Rusty Wallace one stands out. That's like a 1989 championship helmet. I mean, hard to believe this kind of helmet was being used back in 1989. Doesn't seem that long ago.
Yeah, that was the standard. That was normal for NASCAR racing. So and you can tell it's been worn hard, and but to see somebody airbrush that all on, and
I love the artwork.
That was state of the art back then, and that was a fancy paint scheme for those days.
Yeah, so I mean, you've got like the 80s Rusty Wallace championship helmet, and you've got obviously his last call, which is pretty cool. Almost bookending his career. Obviously, this was a little bit later. He started in '84, but pretty cool to have them side by side, and then even just to see the different eras and the designs, right?
Yeah, and that's obviously I graduated high school the year he won the championship, but at the same time, then later in my career, I get to race with him, so I get to be there when he's running his last season. Yeah. So to have both of those and capture the one championship he got and have a helmet from that season, and then go to the end of his career where I was racing against him on a weekly basis. So like I said, it somewhat bookends it. Yeah.
When you were in high school, obviously you were driving quarter midgets and doing the sprint cars, just kind of going that career path. Were you following any NASCAR at that point at all?
Yeah, absolutely. We watched every Sunday. So
oh, really?
My mom, I would make her run as fast as she could from church home, and so we could get in front of the TV and watch the race. But that's what we did. I mean, I only raced at that time, I was racing Saturday nights only.
Okay.
And some Friday nights, but mainly just Saturday nights. So it was Saturday night, it was church on Sunday, home and watch the NASCAR race or the INDYCAR race, whatever was on that day.
Yeah. Excellent. Obviously got Darrell Waltrip here. Is this Brad's?
No, that's another Rusty.
Another Rusty, yeah. Well, that one looks pretty modern, actually. It's probably like even maybe a year or two before this.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a really cool paint job. I like how the visor actually matches. I tried to do that with my helmets because a lot of the drivers don't really build that into the design, but it's cool when you do see it. It's kind of all matches, fits in together. Really nice piece. And then over here you've got Bobby Labonte, and I mean, how unique really to have two brothers that became champions. And you got this one's Terry Labonte's right behind.
Yeah, and I always respected Bobby and Terry, and obviously Bobby for the fact that we were teammates. But when I did have time to be around Terry and his passion for deer and the outdoors and everything, it was we struck it up pretty good.
Yeah, this is probably his final season. I think, was it 2005? I think it might have been close to when he was retiring. It's painted by Tonto Design, which are out of Ontario, Canada, close by me. They also painted this one, which is Kyle Busch's helmet. I mean, what a champion he's become. I mean, the amount of race wins this guy's had, and this almost seems like so long ago now. 2007. It's hard to believe he's been around that long and winning races so long too, right?
And so we had him on the bottom row with single time champion, so now we've got to move him up now that he's a multi-time champion. So
yeah,
I'm very particular about how I organize my case, and on the Cup champion side, it's all done in championship wins. So
yeah,
he's going to be
moving
moved
on
up. Yeah, he's going up a couple shelves now.
Yeah, you got Dale Jarrett's over here. Obviously Kevin Harvick. This is a pretty cool piece.
When he was still at Childress.
Yeah, he had a pretty nice win for you this year as well.
Yeah, winning the Brickyard. Obviously, that's a home race for me, so that's one that I always want to win.
Yeah, I think he's won that race twice now as well, hasn't he?
He's finally catching me.
Yeah. Yeah, some more across here. Joey Logano's over there, and
just Matt Kansas.
Yeah.
Keselowski and Truex. So that's all the championship guys that we have, which is pretty much everybody that's alive right now. So it's pretty cool to have this group of guys in our collection.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's some more INDYCAR ones that we're going through here on the floor.
A lot of these are new. Most of these are new helmets to me. So it's fun to sit here and look at them, and it's even more fun when you're here and can really go back and help us figure out what time and dates that they actually came from.
Yeah, I mean, like this Rick Mears one, for example. We were just looking at this earlier, and immediately I could tell it was one of the last helmets from his sort of career with Penske. And I was able to look inside and see a manufacture date in 1991. Even more importantly, there's a USAC tech sticker which indicates it was used at the 500. So it could actually be his Indianapolis 500 winning helmet, or certainly one from qualifying or practice. Pretty remarkable piece of history. Still got the helmet skirt, if you like, attached to it, exactly the way it was worn. And you got other current champions, recent champions like Scott Dixon, who's turned into a legend. He's rapidly approaching Mario Andretti and catching AJ Foyt on wins. Really neat to have some of these modern IndyCar champions in the collection too, right?
Yeah, and Marco Andretti and I are great friends, so obviously with the NASCAR side and me running the dirt track cars, I don't get to IndyCar races, but have built a friendship through Marco with a lot of these guys. And,
yeah.
A lot of respect. So, love what they do and love watching them race when I get a chance. And it's fun to talk shop and talk racing with them and to see what they like and dislike about their series versus what we do with our series as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed you got Marco's helmet over there, and he's got quite a nice collection. And I see you got Mario's helmet. Do you have a Michael one yet?
I'm working on a Michael. So
right.
Michael and I finally met each other a couple of years ago, and recently just talked about trading helmets. So I think he wants a NASCAR helmet because I gave him the option. I said you can get a IndyCar helmet, NASCAR helmet, or a dirt track helmet. So he wanted the NASCAR helmet.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, your careers almost kind of they were at the same time. They overlap, but in different series. As IRL started, and we look at your IndyCar here from 1998. You were racing IRL, and he was racing kart, and then he came back to do the Indy 500, I think, in 2001. 2001, yeah.
So that's the one time that I got to race with him, and we both went for what we thought was the winning strategy at the end there, and pitted after the rain delay, and it bit both of us. So we ended up. I think he finished 5th and I finished 6th, but we had to at least try.
Yeah, and you did the double a couple of times. That was one of the years. I think we had a couple of your double helmets over here from Ganassi, and those probably are pretty special to you because there's not many drivers that have done that as well.
No, and I'm pretty proud of the fact that we're still the record holder on miles. So we're the only team that completed all 1,100 miles in the same day. So it's not really a feat that really mattered. I mean, what the goal was to try to win the Indy 500 and still try to win the Coca-Cola 600. But to finish 6th and 3rd respectively and run 1,100 miles is something I'm pretty proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got your INDYCAR championship that you won as well, and that's something that very few drivers in history have done. INDYCAR champion, NASCAR champion. You've won in sprint cars. You've pretty much won in everything you've raced. What do you think we're going to see you do next?
Still trying to win races. I mean, I'm still running my sprint car and trying to get back to the form that I had before I got hurt with my legs. So, I've got big changes in my organization coming up for this year with a new crew chief and different cars. So I'm excited to see what happens. It's normally I'm ready for a break on the off season, but I'm ready to get back to it and see how this year goes.
Yeah, well, that's great. We're looking forward to it too, and I'm pleased that you invited me down here. We're looking forward to diving into some more of these helmets, seeing the history and pulling them out, and then we're going to catalog them, photograph them, and make a little thing for the fans to see as well. So thanks a lot for having us.
Thank you. You're like the Donald Davidson of helmets, so I had to bring the best in here.
I appreciate that. Yeah, fellow Brit, I'll take that compliment. Like Donald. Thanks a lot, mate.
Thank you.